When I realized that this episode will be released right before the Valentine's Day, the topic of it was kind of obvious. We're going to talk about love. Hi, my dear listener. Yep, that's me again, about to penetrate your brain with some necessary truth that you need to face on your way back to your authentic self. Love is such a massive theme that you cannot possibly cover in one episode. We can talk about self-love, unconditional love, love for life. But today, we're going to talk about romantic love. I know you all have been waiting for this topic, and I know that that's what people want to learn about. Everyone wants to know 3 things in life: how to find love, how to make money, and how to be healthy. But love is not something that you find. Love is something that you create, something that you feel, something that comes naturally. So please, stop forcing it. Confirmation. If you really have to force it, is it really love? To open up this discussion, I want to read you a paragraph from one of my favorite books. The name of it is How to Love by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is one of the best known Zen teachers in the world today. He's Vietnamese, he's no longer alive, but he has a series of books, those tiny books on how to love, how to walk, how to eat, how to connect. I love those because those are pocketbooks that you can keep handy every time you need a reminder. This has become my personal love Bible over the past few years, and I want to share a piece of it with you. Distractions. Often, we get crushes on others not because we truly love and understand them, but to distract ourselves from our suffering. When we learn to love and understand ourselves and have true compassion for ourselves, then we can truly love and understand another person. This aligns with the principle that I truly believe in and I've truly seen confirmation of so many times. And this is something that I've been telling many women that came to ask me for advice or work with me, and I want to share it with you as well. So listen carefully. You can only love and understand another person to the extent that you love and understand yourself. What if someone didn't give you back as much love as you gave, not because they're a bad person, but simply because that's all they know. That's all they've learned. That's the extent of love that is available to them at that moment. So think about it. Your partner will always serve you as your mirror, as a reflection of how you are treating yourself, of how you are loving yourself. And if there is something that your partner is not doing for you, you should really flip it 180 degrees and look at yourself and ask yourself, am I loving myself the way I want to be loved? Am I treating myself the way I want to be treated? Or am I still not prioritizing my needs? Am I still saving money on myself? Am I still overworking myself and taking care of everyone else? Instead of blaming your partner and focusing on what they're doing wrong or what they're not giving you, focus on yourself and give yourself that love and that treatment that you desire. If you truly do that, here's what's going to happen. Your partner will either start behaving differently and treating you differently because you will change the energy, or a new, better partner will show up in your life. Remember a few episodes back, we talked about friendships and how sometimes when we feel that we are not receiving an equal energy exchange with our friends, we are continuing to hold on instead of letting go and letting that friend learn their lessons on their own, or maybe finding another friend that matches your new vibrational frequency. Same idea with romantic relationships. And the only thing that is stopping you from doing that is your fear. The fear of not being accepted for who you are if you really start showing up as yourself. The fear of being rejected if you start expressing your true desires. The fear of losing something and not finding something better. But all of this is just the fear. That is the main roadblock in your mind, and as a result, in your daily actions and your life. Also, when you start complaining about your partner, remember that no one forced you into this relationship. This is someone you chose to be with. If they are that bad, why did you start it to begin with? Did you see the red flags but ignored them intentionally because you thought you could change someone? Or did you simply got carried away with your hormonal reactions? So your consciousness was not even there when you were starting that relationship. One way or another, it's not your partner's fault if you settled for something that is not enough for you. And the key here is really being honest with yourself. Is it them who are not living up to your standard? Or is it you who lowered your standards to be with this person? All I'm trying to say is that I really want you to take a step back and shift the perspective from the focus on your partner back to yourself. Whatever you're trying to manifest in your life, whatever you're trying to change in your life, always starts within you. From your own alignment, from your own mindset, from your feelings and your actions. Instead of trying to fix the external problem, how about you look within and try to heal the root cause of what your external reality is presenting to you? Because it's always presenting you the reflection of what's going on within you and within your relationship with yourself. And that paragraph from How to Love book that I read you reminds us that many times we choose to be distracted by people we have crushes on just to prevent ourselves from having an honest look within and how we're feeling and how we're treating ourselves. From my childhood, I knew that love will be such an important part of my life because love really brings the meaning to anything that we are doing in this world. Why would we do it if there would be no love? I had a late start to romantic relationships. While everyone was dating in high school, I was too busy and had no time for that. I was doing professional ballroom dance. I was taking extra classes to prepare for university. And my first love happened during the first year of college when I was already in Moscow. I got very lucky with my first love. He was my age, also a student, and it was everything that every young girl deserves. It was a loving, kind, passionate, and supportive relationship. I really loved him and he really loved me, and we would spend a lot of time together. He would bring me flowers and gifts, and even my first diamond I received from him, and he was not from a wealthy family, but he managed to pull it off, which really showed me early on that when the man truly loves a woman, he would be her hero, no matter what. Everything is possible when the man is truly in love. That gives no excuses for half-assed treatment that many men want to offer to women these days. And I want you to remember that. That relationship only ended because I had avoidant attachment style. When things were getting way too serious, I had an urge to pull away and run away because I was too scared that as a next step, we would get married, have a family, children, all at that young age. And if that would happen, I wouldn't move to the United States and I wouldn't be sitting here right now telling you about this entire journey of mine that I've been through in the past 10, 12 years. But regardless of that, I have a lot of gratitude and warmth in my heart for having this first pure kind of love that I was able to experience that really set me up for the rest of my life and set my standards pretty high. When I moved to the US, my father wounds, or should I say daddy issues, attracted a man that was playing father's role really well for me, and I ended up in the codependent relationship, which is again not healthy. Later on, as I was reflecting on what initially attracted me to this man, I realized it was his relationship with his daughter. He had a teenage daughter when we met, and I couldn't believe that those were father and daughter, because they really behaved like best friends and had a relationship with each other that I never had with my dad. My dad was always there, but at the same time, he was emotionally unavailable. He was distant and didn't really connect with me deeply until maybe a couple of years ago, when I intentionally started working on that. And while being a great dad is a good trait to have, that's not the reason to fall in love with someone, isn't it? I married that man, and I think that brought a lot of unnecessary turbulence to both of us. And because I don't like to see things as mistakes in life, I only see them as experiences that we needed to have. I think that marriage was one of the experiences that we both needed to have. And even though it ended on good terms. I think what happened, I found myself in a hell loop that I created myself. And I started becoming very sick. And it was not an easy decision to detach and let it go and move on. Because I also experienced fear, I experienced doubt, I experienced attachment. So I know what you might be going through. It took me courage to take that step outside of the comfort zone and leave that relationship. But let me tell you, that's where my real growth began. I see endings as sacred. Completions are sacred. When you look at life and death, you see completion of life as sacred. Same way with relationships. If you start shitting on your relationship the moment it's over, you're shitting on yourself and what you chose for yourself, because ego steps in and you start blaming another person. But in the end of the day, it takes two to tango. I walked out of that marriage sick as hell. I didn't take anything, not a cent. I just wanted a divorce and to rebuild myself, to heal myself, to put myself back together. And I'm so happy I did it. And it's been almost 7 years since I walked out of that relationship, and my life changed dramatically. When I got out of Boston and moved to LA, I think I got out of my bubble. I know many people are aware that dating in cities like LA and Miami is a shit show in general, with exceptions. I could never understand it until I found myself living there. And what happened eventually, I got so pissed at the whole male population of this planet that I completely shut off my heart. And guess what you can attract when your heart is closed? Do you think you can attract a true, beautiful love? Do you think you can attract abundance? Do you think you can attract success, deep connections? Never. To begin the journey of love, you really need to check in with yourself and ask yourself, is my heart open? Am I ready to receive? Am I ready to welcome this love in? Or is there an army of dragons? Did I lock my heart in the tower so no one can access it, so no one can hurt it? If that sounds like you, the first and the most essential step to living a fulfilled life is to open your heart, really, really open your heart, and learn to love yourself fully, and learn to treat yourself like a goddamn queen that you are. You want to be treated like a queen? Start acting like a queen and start treating yourself like a queen. Queen is very powerful. She can grant your wishes or she can execute you. She has very high standards, and not everyone has access to the queen. She has a very strict filter on who she allows in her circle. Connecting with a queen is a privilege. She has very strict boundaries. She holds that power within. She's so confident. And that's why everyone is listening to her. So the next time you're saying that you want to be treated like a queen, really look in the mirror and see if you're treating yourself like a queen. My love life deserves a book series. I'm not even kidding. I cannot possibly fit it in one episode. But what I want to share with you, all these lessons and relationships that I had in my life, I was able to create a formula of what a truly healthy romantic relationship is. And here's my formula. A truly healthy romantic relationship only happens when two mature, emotionally intelligent, and independent individuals come together, committed to continuously work on themselves and their relationship. Let's break it down. First element is maturity. I cannot stress that enough. It requires two people to be mature to build that relationship. What does it mean to be mature? Maturity means that you are able to have an adult conversation with each other without screaming, without acting on your emotions, without disrespecting your partner. It requires an ability to not only speak your truth, but also to listen and actually hear what your partner has to say. Every relationship will face conflicts at some point, and that is totally normal. Somehow, our society created this perception that if we are having conflicts, then something is not working out. I would disagree, and I would say that if you are having conflicts, that is a great sign that you actually care about each other and care about your relationship. The only relationship that will not have conflicts is the dead one. The one where people don't really care about each other. The one where people exist like roommates. I see conflicts as opportunities to help each other heal, to help each other grow and become closer and to strengthen your bond with each other. If you approach the conflicts from that point of view, you will transform something that is perceived so negative into something that becomes an opportunity for your growth and for building a strong foundation for your relationship to thrive over the years. But it takes time. It takes time to become mature. When does someone become mature? I wish I would have an answer for you. I wish I would have a specific number, but unfortunately, there is none. It is very unique for every individual, and you just really have to be conscious when you start talking to someone and pay attention to all the red flags that you see early on. I've seen some very mature men at the age of 25, and I've seen some very immature boys at the age of 60. You just have to decide for yourself what level of maturity works for you. The second element is emotional intelligence, and that is connected to maturity because emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and process your own emotions and ability to recognize someone else's emotions. And you can't really build that skill without the experience of connecting with other people. You need to look at quality, not quantity of someone's connections. If someone is having a lot of friends and had a lot of relationships which didn't last long and were kind of superficial, chances are that person never built emotional intelligence because that relationship never went beyond a certain level of intimacy. And to build the emotional intelligence, you really need to connect deeply with another individual. If someone is avoiding deep, meaningful connections, they will never build emotional intelligence. If they don't care what the other person is feeling and they would rather keep that connection casual, that skill will never grow. And this is also something to pay attention to as you speak with a potential partner. The third element is independence. And I know this will trigger many, but I have to say this because this is the truth that you need to face in order to build a truly healthy relationship with another human being. You can't expect someone to feel the void within you. You need to be an independent, functional human being on your own before you enter any sort of relationship. Next time you find yourself wanting a relationship, really ask yourself, do you want a relationship because you want it? Or do you want a relationship because you need it to save yourself, to give you something that you're not giving yourself? There is a big difference. Until you are your own stable individual who can function in health and happiness by yourself, you will never be happy in a relationship for a long time. I can't stress that enough. Stop jumping from relationship to relationship because you are not capable of existing on your own. You know why? Because that makes you a child, not a woman. So think about that. Do you want to be a child in your man's eyes, or do you want to be the queen? And the last element is a commitment to continuously work on yourself and your relationship. Our growth never stops. We came here to evolve and grow and continue our self-development. Your partner will trigger the shit out of you. Your partner will show you all the things about yourself that you're trying to avoid. Your partner will show you all the unhealed stuff that you still have going on in your head. And that's a blessing. See it as an opportunity for you to get rid of that shit so you don't pass it to your kids and the next generation. Because so many times the things that we are dealing with came to us from previous generations, from our parents, our grandparents. And same will happen to your partner. You will trigger your partner. Your partner will need to deal with it. And the most important thing that you can do is walk this path together, holding space for each other, supporting each other. And if you start doing that, your relationship will flourish. You're going to be an unbreakable team. But it takes two. Don't tell yourself that you can fix it all for both of you if the other person is not interested in healing anything. That's not going to happen. I'm confident that those elements are essential to having a healthy relationship. And I'm not interested in having any other kind of relationship anymore. I'm over it. I'm done. I had to work through the concept of love that was completely fucked up. I had to rewrite my own concept of love that was passed to me from other generations and enhanced with romantic movies and novels. Because if you think about it, when we are watching a movie, we always see the same story. It's a dramatic love. Two people meet, love at first sight, things going from 0 to 100 in a couple seconds. Emotions are boiling up and it's just so passionate. And then something happens. Someone betrays someone. People split up and then they get back together. And it's a never-ending story, which is great for a movie because it keeps you engaged and entertained to watch it. But to live through that story, it's gonna drain you. It will drain the shit out of you because this is not healthy and this is not sustainable. So really go back in your head and ask yourself, what is the definition of love for you? What kind of romantic relationship are you seeking? Because for me, this kind of relationship is not sustainable and I don't want that. But many people do. That's why you need to find people that are looking for the same thing. I'm not saying that toxic love is not love. It is love. But this is not the type of love I'm looking for. As we are celebrating this Valentine's Day, really ask yourself all those questions. What kind of love do you want? Are you giving this love to yourself? And start showing yourself love every day. I'm wishing you a fantastic Valentine's Day, whether you're single or in a relationship. I hope you are showered with love and affection. Remember, you are your most important relationship in this life. I told you that before, but I'm going to continue repeating that until you learn that. Until it is stuck in your head forever. I have something very special planned for this Valentine's Day. Not just the Valentine's Day, the entire weekend. I'm so excited. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I will tell you all about it in the next episode. Oh my God, I can't wait. Have a wonderful celebration of love. I love you. Thank you for being with me. And I see you next time.